Good evening and pleasant welcome to the studio with me, Zach Sherman, the headline. Liberia's populist President George Weah featured political ambition threatened as early electoral defeat and threats of withdrawal of support eliminating from several quarters, with the latest coming from Senator Prince Johnson cautioning President Weah to stop watching Barcelona and Chelsea games. Aggrieved voters from Montserrat County District 15 called on National Elections Commission for a speedy pronouncement of the district election results. Last were vowed that's away from home. Report says Sudanese protesters have celebrated after the ruling generals and protest leaders signed the constitutional declaration. Those plus more for you this evening. Keep watching. Thanks for rejoining us. This is News Today. President George Weah and vote-rich Nema County political partner Prince Johnson friendship seems to be getting sour as the Nema County lawmaker has come out with harsh criticism relative to corruption and bad governance. The Nema County Senator's critical statement against the president, who he placed a supporter in the 2017 general elections, is triggered by results from the Montserrat County by-elections, which illustrates a back-turn against CDC. Montserrat County has been one of the Coalition for Democratic Change stronghold electorally, with the by-elections proving the other way around. This, according to Senator Prince Johnson, signals that the popular voted for president is not making the mark expected of him, especially with the many hopes and expectations Liberians have had.
We build houses, our burn, zinc houses to concrete. The same people now voting against the economy and speaking ill about their own son.
Why is the question?
Why?
Why?
When you forget God, when you turn your back on God, everything will go bad for you.
Amen.
Amen. So
in Liberia, we say philosophically, we say seeing is what?
believing.
Seeing is what?
Believing.
So if you had your own money before from the football field that you didn't use, and now you are involved in, you are not involved per se, you are being accused of a lot of financial malpractices, and then they say you build so many houses. The old lady who can see but cannot walk, they will say, but the thing you're talking about, to say, Mama, you cannot see. They put people in the car. The old lady who walking will say, old lady will go and say, oh! Before they are talking at you.
That's a word.
People trooping to the beautiful of my magnificent estate. They are not going there to thank you and to praise you. They are going to see for themselves what they think you have done with the money.
Amen.
They set people against us.
Exactly.
Whoever advised, I don't know. If I were president, I'd keep my money, I retire. Because what I would do the first term is what would be to do the second term.
Yeah.
When I retire, I'll be entitled to $1 million gift from the NGO, some kind of NGO. Now I'll retire and start doing my business. It's too early. But they are accusing all of us. I watched a video, and one guy was cursing me how to throw myself in jail for war crime. But you will let the war crime go crime. They see what I'm not doing. I'll be a free man. If we continue this trend, the people of Nigeria will nationally send out a protest group.
Yes.
And when that happens, in order to protect our dynasty, we will fight back and make the Supreme Court to rule in our favor. That's exactly what I see.
Meanwhile, the Nima County lawmaker is cautioning President George Weah to work with patriotic individuals that will help him move his agenda forward. Show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. A statement Senator Johnson elected President George Weah to consider if he must be loved by his people. He at the same time highlighted the need that the Liberian leader seeks advice from his international counterparts on progress being made in transcending to Liberia.
We travel back to Nigeria to seek advice, whether I should continue my support or I should withdraw my support. Show me your crown and I'll tell you who you are. Yeah. Show me your friend and I will say who you are.
Yes.
You have been set aside. You are no more the crowd or the people you need to be with, Mr. President.
So true.
You have been set aside. Stop witnessing Chelsea and Barcelona school. I heard just a few days ago the president wanted to do reshuffle. That's good. But you may be moving people into the bar and putting the worst people that live better.
Yeah.
Come in the regime. Go to the Prophet TV Johnson. Inform your friend Buhari who came here, they will give you all the escort. You will come back with happiness. If you don't believe TV Johnson, why did you believe? If you believe it, you do. You went after you succeeded and became president. The very people who are praying for us not to win, and the people that will be friends, they become our Holy Father.
Yes.
What are we doing to ourselves? If we used to drink, all of us, let us leave it.
Yes.
And present our body holy. And live a holy life. If we used to womanize, let us remember today that not every woman is free of being demon possessed.
Thank you. So true.
You are now a president. But your regime for this starting is characterized by social demonstration, social trouble. Why? Are we asking ourselves why? Are you asking yourself why you say so? Yesterday, the country giant moving, opposition gave way. The people are now saying they're calling us all of our country devil.
An international organization, Last Well, has vowed to eliminate water scarcity and provide safe drinking water to millions of Liberians by 2020. Last Well is a non-for-profit World Texas-based Christian institute which, through its commitment, has provided clean water to over 2 million Liberians, mostly rural communities, over the years. Speaking to newsmen at the climax of the day-long roundtable holders awareness, the institution's founder, Todd Phillips, said they are hopeful of meeting the United Nations goal next year. Mr. Phillips spoke to journalists in Cinco at a local hotel.
We began our work as the Last Well back in 2009, and back then we had a desire, a mission to try to bring basic clean water to an entire country for the first time in history. And as we begin to investigate the different opportunities around the world to work alongside a people's government, we found the country of Liberia to be an incredible opportunity. So we've been working alongside the government agencies over the last 10 years to provide water to 2 million or more people in Liberia. In all 15 of the counties we've been working to try to bring border-to-border clean water access to the country. Well, we're hoping that we can transition from a nonprofit water provision strategy to more of a social enterprise strategy. We believe that the long-term solution for the water crisis in Liberia, although we're providing basic water access, the long-term solution is social enterprise, bringing business models and free market models to the field so that there's an internalized solution model. We can add to the middle class, we can work with women's empowerment issues, and add to the tax base for the Liberian government to lift all of the population up out of poverty by using water as a base for that. And it's a new technology that allows for us to bring water into the homes of the individuals in these, especially in the smaller villages and rural communities. And we go through a training process. We will initially assess the village.
Also speaking after the roundtable were Representative Joseph Matthew of Bapuru County and Assistant Public Works Minister Bolton Dennis, who congratulated Laswell for the initiative, but at the same time challenged both Laswell and the government to support and find sustainability plans for the project. But first is Representative Matthew followed by Assistant Minister Bolton Dennis.
Firstly, let me commend Laswell on the level of work they have done thus far in the country, Nigeria. And not just within Bapuru. They have just given us some statistics in terms of people that they have covered. Specifically, you are fully aware of what that is like. And the level of work that they have done, that's why I raised the concerns. They had an entry plan to show that the capacity of drinking water. Basically, we are now concerned with the exit plan. So at the end of 2020, as they are indicated to us that they will be slowing down their operation in Nigeria, what is the exit plan? Meaning, what they are going to put in place in terms of the sustainability of the number of work that they have done. That's very important to us. So that we are placing the last well 2020, dedicating the last hand pump or whatever you be dedicating comes 2020, and probably be about 40 or 50 or 100 of the other pumps that you have put in place, probably they are of no use. We are asking that what is the exit plan? But in so doing, we commended a lot for the level of work that it has done.
The Ministry of Public Works has a brand new rig that can do boreholes throughout the country. The Ministry of Public Works has pump technicians throughout the country. In every county there is a pump technician. These guys are trained and they are in place to repair hand pumps that partners left last year after they should have left, that can do repairs of. But the major problems we have with these training are logistics and other. Every lawmaker here expressed the need for clean drinking water. Can we actualize that as a government? Can we practicalize it? Can we put some money in the budget? I am at the Ministry of Public Works. The Ministry of Public Works is doing budget. The least they talk about is water. Unfortunately, the least.
Public Works.
Ministry of Public Works.
Okay.
When we go to budget meeting, they don't even mention it. It is not even there. Because at the Ministry of Public Works, we are more or less relegated. Then the people concentrating on roads. Water minister, people will forget what roads, people talk about water. The major concern are roads, because the roads are major challenges in our country as well. So that's where the focus is.
If you're just joining us, this is a reminder that you are watching News Today. Have our news presentation from Liberia and the rest of our One Global Village. I'm Zach Sherman. Stories we are following. Liberia's populist President George Weah's future political ambition threatened as early electoral defeat and threats of withdrawal of support emanating from several quarters, with the latest coming from Senator Prince Johnson cautioning President Weah to stop witnessing Barcelona and Chelsea games. And still to come, aggrieved voters from Montserrat County District 15 called on National Elections Commission for speedy pronouncement of the district election results. Away from Liberia, report says Sudanese protests have celebrated after the ruling generals and protest leaders signed the constitutional declaration. Keep watching. We'll bring you more right after this break. This is News Today. Ahead of induction, winning candidate in the Montserrat senatorial elections has disclosed plans he will undertake when he takes the mantle of authority at the legislature. Abraham Darius Dillon told reporters that declaring his assets, proposing a bill that will allow all public officials make less than 5,000 USD, among others. The opposition candidate, who has just been declared winner by NEC, noted such move as is a way of ensuring transparency and accountability and avoiding corruption.
On the day of my induction, I expect that the world will be watching. Right after we are inducted by the grace of God, right in that very hall, in plenary, before the media and the people, I, Darius Dillon, will declare our asset and authorize the Secretary of the Senate to publish it. And we will turn to our colleagues in the Senate and encourage them, those of them that have not declared, to please declare, because light is about to turn on in that place. My first monthly income by law, when it comes, the Liberian poor would know in dollar and cent how much we actually pay ourselves. The bank, because I want explanation as to how we pay ourselves, what we pay ourselves when teachers are making 150. That bill for us to reduce our money on this bad economy, I will shove it down our throats. The Constitution says national leaders should craft and implement national policy for national good. Our economy is bad. It's stuck in the toilet. No vision, no plan, no wisdom to take it out of there. I will charge you, the people, this country. Tell your people who coming to you for re-election to support Darius Dillon bill. Let's reduce money in, plenty money in, few public officials' pocket, put the money back in the public sector and the people.
The four collaborating political parties have expressed their resistant attitude against results from NEC that will not be in favor of their candidate, Tella Yuri. Speaking on behalf of the political collaboration, Liberty Party Chairman Steve Zyko disclosed that the decision held from results in their possession, which put candidate Tella Yuri off front against her rival Abu Kamara. The Lofa County Senator, however, cautioned the National Elections Commission not to conduct the election at the will and pleasure of CDC and the President of Liberia.
As we celebrate the victory of our collaboration at the senatorial level, we, in this uncertain time, caution the National Election Commission to proceed cautiously, expeditiously, meticulously in handling the result of District 15 represented by election, and take cognizance of the fact that the peace and security of any democratic setting is in the function of upholding the freedom of the people in choosing their leaders through free, fair, and transparent election. It is worth emphasizing that the repeated delay in releasing the result of District 15 by-election is unwarranted. It has the proclivity of undermining the credibility of the elections and could turn out to be a catalyst for political tension in our country. We are quite knowledgeable of the performance of our candidate, Tella Yuri, in the election, and we accept nothing less than the will of the majority of the people of District 15 as democracy dictates. The National Election Commission will be held liable for any political tension that may erupt that will arise as a result of a repeated delay and suspicious handling of the result of District 15 represented by election. Again, our collaborative political party will accept nothing more or less than the word of the majority of the people of District 15. And we will do anything, all things in keeping with our constitutional right as Liberian if the will of the people is circumvented to appease our losing, noisy, ideologically poor neighbor, the CDC.
Meanwhile, the Montserrado District 15 representative candidate Tala Yuri says she will constructively engage the National Elections Commission in a quest to settle electoral dispute. The ALP candidate on Friday accused President George Weah of masterminding and manipulating the results in favor of CDC Abu Kamara. According to Tala, her claimed over-won victory is under the directive of the masses who have not met their expectations.
It's gotten to a point where I think that even NEC is embarrassed.
A little confused.
The president is trying to directly influence who becomes, he has moved from trying to influence who becomes a senator, but he now is holding on to his last string, which is the representative election. I believe that he got those results from his backyard because those results do not reflect what the people of District 15 did. Since yesterday and the day before, I have been constructively engaging NEC, asking them, begging them to please give me the breakdown of where they got those results from. As far as I'm concerned, at 5 p.m. or I think 7 p.m. when they had their press conference, the tallying center had only tallied 55 centers in District 15. So please tell me where the other 65 came from. And also, please, as my right, let me know the polling centers that you got your results from. And when you make an announcement, so have supporting documents for that announcement. Well, it's been over 24 hours, and I have not been able to get the breakdown of where those results came from. Chairman Kokoya cannot tell us where he picked his results up from to come and announce to the Liberian people. I will continue to engage NEC constructively. I will continue to exercise my rights. It's my right to know where that information came from. And I will not.
Some aggrieved voters from Montserrado County District 15 on Friday assembled in front of the National Elections Commission for a speedy pronouncement of the district election results. The group told reporters that their candidate results at various polling places have shown the candidate Tala Yuri is the representative suited for the people of that county. They at the same time accused NEC Chairman Jerome Kokoyat, President George Weah, and the CDC Chairman Balba Molu of playing delay tactics in order to take the election results in favor of Abu Kamara.
Comrades, I'm saying this, and I'm making a statement as the public relation officer of the propaganda military of TIUE. They tell us, say, a man will not see, that child will not see we are here.
What does that mean?
What that means is that simple. When Jerome Kokoya choose to play on our result, as per our tally, it is clear that Abu Kamara will drag Abu Kamara, they will face down Berber Hombotila Yue. That's why we are here to take a message to Kokoya. We are here to send a message to Kokoya. We are here to Kokoya. Do not cheat. Do not cheat. Yesterday, in District 13, when on the board, Kokola Green won an election. Into this time, they announced the result. How about the day 15? How about the day 15?
Result of the report. Few weeks ago, the president made a statement. He said, no UA, I repeat, no UA will win any electoral position under his presidency. And we believe in our noblest mind that it is that particular statement that the president made a few weeks ago that is to play in our district. How can you announce results? I mean preliminary result where 3 of the prisoners have been quarantined. Absolutely. One of those is Donaka Western School in Lokita community. Where as we know, there is always 550 people that are always in a polling center. We noticed that a candidate received over 700 votes in a particular area.
This is News Today. Next is Anthony Kokwe with sports.
Sports with me, Anthony Kukui. And of course, we begin with women's football, where Liberia's women's under-20 team have departed the country for Banjul, the Gambia, for international friendlies. According to a release from the Liberia Football Association, the women's team, comprising that's a 29-man delegation, comprising 20 players, is headed by Liberia's LFA Executive Committee member Joseph Cordy, who is heading the delegation to Gambia, where the under-20 women's team will be playing an international friendly against Gambia's under-20 on August 6 and August 9, respectively, in Banjul, the Gambia. And as well, it was another disappointing weekend for Liberia football on Saturday, August 3, after the national football team of Liberia, the Lone Star, suffered a 3-0 defeat against Senegal in the ongoing 2020 African Nations Championship qualifiers. The 2020 CHAN qualifiers is a mere football competition. Only national team players who are playing in their country's own domestic league are eligible to participate in the competition. The local-based Lone Star conceded a 3-0 defeat against Senegal in the return leg after defeating Senegal 1-0 in the first leg at the Antoinette Tottenham Stadium. The team returned to Liberia today via the Rabat International Airport. And of course, up next for the Liberia national team is the 2022 World Cup qualifier preliminary rounds, where Liberia will be taking on neighbor Sierra Leone on September 2 and the return leg on September 9. Liberia will play home first in the first leg and travel to Sierra Leone Freetown for the second leg. And away from Liberia, but with Liberian player, Liberia's Russian-based forward Savannah's Nimlin is enjoying a fair start of the 2019 Russian First Division League season. The young forward has so far scored 2 goals and provided 2 assists out of 6 appearances for Sparta Moscow 2 in the Russian First Division. Out of those 6 games, Sparta Moscow have won 3, drew 2, and lost 1. Sparta Moscow are currently in the 6th position on the league table and will return to action this Saturday, August 8. Nimlin has so far scored 16 goals out of 75 appearances since joining the club. Well, those were the latest from our sports center. Do join us for more sporting developments on our website at www.kmtvsports.com for more sports news. Until then, my name is Anthony Kukui.
Thanks to Anthony Kokwe coming to you with the world of sports. And away from Liberia, Sudanese protesters on Sunday in the capital Khartoum celebrated after Sudan's ruling generals and protest leaders signed the constitutional declaration. Sudan's pro-democracy movement signed a power-sharing agreement with the ruling military council aimed at paving the way for a transition to civilian rule following the withdrawal or overthrow of President Omar al-Bashir in April. Representatives initialed a constitutional document that would establish a joint military and civilian council to rule for a little over 3 years until elections can be held. The agreement will establish a cabinet appointment by the advice as well as legislative body. On a note, I want to say thanks for joining us this evening with News Today. I'm Zach Sherman. Good evening.